Hello everyone, my name is Fadlan Muzaki and my assistant code is AMZ. Now, we can explain about Module 5 is function. Objectives of the practicum is understand the use of functions in C language, understanding the function structures in C language, can distinguish between types of functions parameters in C language, can create programs using functions in the C language. Now we can explain standard library functions. In C language, there are many functions that have been defined in the C standard library, such as std, io.h, string.h, math.h, and many others. Here are some examples of libraries in the C standard library. First, standard input-output library. stdio.h. This library provides basic functions for input and output, such as printf to display output to the screen and scanf to read input from the user. Next, string manipulations library, string.h. This library provides functions for manipulation strings. For example, strcpy. For copy a string, strlen. For calculate the length of the string, strcmp. For compress two strings. Next is standard library, stdlib.h. This library provides various utility functions, including memory management, number conversions, and process control. For example, first is system cls, clears the terminal output screen, system pause, to pause the program, and exit for terminate the program. Mathematics library, math.h. This library provides basic mathematical functions. For example, first sin for sin function, cos for cosine function, tan for tangent function, and sqrt for calculate the square root, and POW or POW for calculate the exponent. ctype library, ctype.h. This library provides functions for character inspection and manipulation. For example, first is digit for checks if a character is a digit is alpha, for checks if a character is a letter to upper, change a character to uppercase, and to lower, change a character to lowercase. Time library, time.h. This library provides functions for manipulation time and date. For example, time for returns the current time, clock for returns the CPU time used by the program, diff time for calculate the difference between two times. For more information, let's move on the terminal. This is a program that has been created. This is for library such as stdio.h, string.h until time.h. stdio.h for input-output function, string for manipulation string, strcmp or other, and math.h for math library, and this is a variable for program, and this is for comparing string, strcmp for comparing string, and For math.h, we have radian value convert to sinus value, and ctype.h, this is a lowercase to uppercase with two upper, and time.h, this is for time and date, and this is for stdlib.h. So let's just run the program. First, enter the first name. For example, Danu. Second name is Danu, and the output is name are the same. Next, enter an angle in radians, for example 1, and value of sinus of 1 is 0.8415. Next, enter a lowercase letter, for example A, and the output is uppercase letter of A, and this is a current time. This time will be automatically read by the program when we run it. And here we are asked to press on one of the keys on our keyboard, one of which is enter. We can choose enter. And system CLS, this function is to clean the terminal of the program. We are running and display the current program without any traces. And if we delete one or more libraries but we use their functions, there will be a warning and our program may not run optimally. We can see before we run the program, it will give a warning.
Hello everyone, my name is Carla Priscilla Dalia Panangin with assistant code is KAY. I continue learning about module 5.2 function. What is the meaning of function? A function is a small part of a program that is useful, especially when creating large and complex programs. With the functions, code can be divided into smaller pieces that are more organized, easier to understand, and easier to manage. A function is made to perform a specific task, usually receiving input in the form of parameters and returning an output value. Okay, there are 4 important terms you must remember. They are local variable, global variable, actual parameters, formal parameters. Okay, local variables. Local variable is a variable declared inside a function and can only be used within the scope of the function. This variable cannot be accessed outside the function. And global variable is a variable declared outside of functions, usually at the beginning of the program. This variable can be accessed and used by all parts of the program, including existing functions. And actual parameters is a value or reference that is given to a function with the function is called. And formal parameters is a variable declared inside the function header and is used to receive the value of the actual parameter when the function is called. So that friends can easily understand, I will explain it in short form. First, take a look at the variables x and y that are written outside of any function. These are called global variables. Why global? Because they can be used anywhere, both inside in the main function or inside another function. Think of them like tools placed in the living room. Everyone in the house can use them. Now look at inside the add function. There are we see in result. This is a local variable. Local variables only live inside the function where they are created. Once the function finishes running, the variables disappears. A simple analogy is like a tool kept in your bedroom. You can only use in that room, and once you leave, it's gone. Okay, we can try to use in result in another function. Is really error or no? And we can try to run. Sure, in this program must error because local variable just used in their in that function, not in another function. Okay, we can got it. Okay. Next are the parameters. In the function declaration in A, in B, the variables A and B are called formal parameters. They are like empty boxes that don't have any value yet. They only get filled when the function is called. On the other hand, when we look at the function called at y, comma y, x, comma y, inside main, the variables x and y are the actual parameters. There are already have real values entered by the user. For example, if the user types 5, okay, you can try. Sorry. Okay, if the user types 5 and 7, then x is 5 and 7 is and y is 7, these real values are passed into the function at that moment. The former parameters a and b become 5 and 7. So the empty boxes are finally filled with the real numbers. To sum it up, global variable can be used anywhere in the program. Local variable can only exist inside their own function. Formal parameters are placeholders waiting for data, and actual parameters are the real values that are sent when the function is called. Okay, next we'll learn about function prototype. What is a function prototype? A function prototype is a function declaration at the top of a program that tells the compiler the function's names, parameters, and return type. When is a function prototype used? It is needed if the function is defined after main. It is not needed if the function is defined before main. So, a function prototype used when defined after main. Okay, so that you can easily understand, I will explain it in code form. Okay, let's take a look at this program. This program is made to calculate the area of rectangle. The user is asked to enter the length and width. Then the program calls a function name and multiply them. Finally, the result is displayed on the screen. Here's how it works step by step. First, the program starts in the main function. The user input the length and width. Okay, we can try to run and input. Okay, we input length is 5 and width 4. Okay, these values are then sent to the function called area, length, comma width. Inside the area function, the two numbers are multiplied and the result is returned to main. Finally, the result is printed to screen, and this output 20. 5 multiplied 4 is 20. Now, notice the line at the top. Line at the top. In area, in this is called a function prototype. The prototype function is important because it works like a promise or an announcement to the compiler. We are basically saying, hey compiler, later I will create a function named area. It will take two integers and return an integer. But with the prototype, why is this needed? Because in this program, the function R is written after main. The compiler reads code from top to bottom. Without the prototype, when it sees R length, width, it will be confused. What is this function? I haven't seen it before. The result would be an error. But with the prototype, the compiler isn't confused. It already knows the function exists, so when it's called inside main, later when the full function definition after belongs, then that's when the actual calculation happen. Okay, we can try. If we delete this prototype, is really error. Will this program really error? Okay, we try to delete. Sorry. We can run. Yeah, of course. This program really error and output showing a warning. Okay. If you want not use prototype function, we can move definition function to top. We can move this in this. Okay. And if the function was written above main, then the prototype isn't needed at all because the compiler already showed the full function before it was called. So in summary, you need a prototype when your function comes after main to let the compiler know it in advance what the function looks like. We can try. At this program can be run and processed. So so if you want to use prototype function, a definition function is right after main. If you want not use prototype function, definition function right before main. Okay, next we'll learn about flowchart, sample flowchart. Alright. First, the program starts by preparing three variables, length, width, and result. After that, we enter the value for length variable. Use shapes input or output. These values are then sent to a function called area. This function multiplies and the length by the width and returns the answer back to the main program. The result of this calculation is then displayed and the output. So in short, this flowchart shows a simple process. We input the length and width. The program processes them through a function and then it gives us the area of the rectangle.
Hello everyone, let me introduce myself. My name is Rizal Hairul Hasfi with assistant code ZAL. This time I will explain point 5.3, namely the void function or procedure function. A procedure function is a function that does not return a value. Procedure functions are used to perform specific tasks without return result to the caller. They are often used to perform actions such as printing output, changing the value of a global variable, or modifying parameter passed by the pointer. Let's jump straight into an example of this void function or procedure function. First, we will look at a flowchart example of a void function. Here, as usual, we will start with the terminator start, then we will declare integer a and b. Then we will ask for input for variable a and b. And then we will pass them into the void compare a-b function. Now, in the void compare a and b function, we will first make a decision to determine whether a is larger than b. If this is true, then the output will be a is larger than b. If this is false, it will move on to the next decision, which will check whether a is less than b. If this is true, then it will output b is larger than a. Then, if this decision is false, then the output will be a is equal to b. And then we are done. So the flowchart is more or less like this. Let's jump straight to the code example. Now for the code example. First, here we will declare a void function called compare with the integer x and y. Then we will execute the function if x larger than y. If this is true, printf will output will output first number is larger. However, if x is less than y, printf will output second number is larger. If both ifs don't work, the two numbers are equal. Now, for the in-main function itself, we will first declare integer a and b. Then we will assign the first number to variable a and the second number to the variable b. Then we will enter the compare a-b function. The code example when executed will look like this. First, we will enter the first number, for example 5, and then the second number, for example 3. This will display first number is larger. For the second example, we will try entering the first number as 3 and the second as 7. This will display second number is larger. Then if we enter two number that are the same, for example 5 and the second number is 5, then the output will be that both numbers are equal.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Faris Sultanakbari with the assistant code HMM. Today I'll be telling you about the recursive function. Recursion is an algorithm that calls itself. Recursion can only be used on procedures and functions. This is because only procedures and functions can be called. In general, recursion can be illustrated as a regular iterative algorithm, but using functions and procedures. Following are important terms in recursion. First, there's base, meaning a condition that will stop the recursive process. And then there's recurrence, a command that will call the recursive algorithm itself. In this case, a procedure or function. Next, I'll be showing you an example of usage in a program for this function. Here we have a program that is used to count the factorial of a number. This time, we'll only be focusing on this function, n factorial. As I said, this function has a base to stop the condition to stop the recursion. In this function, the condition is n equals to 1 or n equals to 0. And then there's the recurrence in this function, which if this function runs, it will give a value of n times n factorial n minus 1. So if we say n is 3, it will be 3 times n factorial n minus 1. And then in n factorial n minus 1, let's say it's 3 minus 1, 2, n factorial 2, it will be 2 times n factorial 1. Now, in n factorial 1, the condition is met, n is equal to 1. So, the value that will be returned will be just 1. So, the sum of the function will be 3 times 2 and times 1, which give us 6. And if we run the program and input 3, it gives us 6. But if I say change the number to 5, it will be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 and times 1. So it will be 120. And let's see if it's right. There you go. That will be all from me. Thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.